Well, that backfired on old Gary Lineker and everyone else. So I'm not a sports fan, football fan, soccer fan, whatever you want to call it, and I don't really care specifically, but I do find this to be utterly hilarious. So in the UK, and I'm sure it's screened elsewhere as well, we have this thing called Match of the Day, where they basically commentate on the match of the day. The clues in the name. So they have pundits coming on, commentators, old sports people, personalities, basically. And old Gary Lineker is paid an extortionately high amount of money from the public purse, essentially, because the BBC has something called the TV licence, which is essentially a poll tax. It's levied against essentially everyone. And Gary Lineker is a very overpaid individual and has some obtuse opinions on the country. And as he's voiced these opinions repetitively, he's broken essentially the BBC's charter, their agreement which they have, where people can't really go online and talk politics. That's what they think has happened, because they suspended him from Match of the Day. And then on Twitter, it came out, boycott Match of the Day, no Gary Lineker, no Match of the Day, all this kind of stuff. And then basically everyone else decided to boycott it as well. And that 20-minute Match of the Day had 500,000 more people watching than usual, thus showing that these overpaid dipshits aren't worth their money. Epic backfiring. Epic backfiring. So hopefully that's enough of a backstory where we can just kind of dive into this for everyone. It's just so funny. Because bearing in mind, Gary Lineker thought that his shit didn't stink. He could just get away with doing anything he wanted at all times. He has a very interesting opinion of himself. But an unprecedented Match of the Day without presenters, pundits or commentators was watched by 500,000 more people last night than the previous week. It's a big, nearly a quarter average more than usual. So an average of 2.6 million viewers tuned in for the somewhat bizarre 20-minute long highlight show that comes with the BBC mired in one of its biggest crises of the past generation. This is a fucking crisis, is it really? Get a grip. God, the Western world is full of absolute cotton wool bud dipshits. Match of the Day, which airs for most of the year, tends to average around 2 million viewers. Last night's show, it's the highest audience for 4 months. A peak audience of 3 million. And share of nearly a quarter, 23.5% of people watching TV at the time tuned in for last night's Match of the Day. Thus proving these people are not worth their money. There's no point paying them that much. Get rid of them. They're not worth the money. Save that money, that over £1 million Gary Lineker's paid. Save it. Do something else with it. Like make better programs. It's just so funny. So basically there was no presenters, pundits or commentators after Gary Lineker was told, you can't do it. You've broken our impartiality rules. So his fellow pundits refused to join him in solidarity. But all of that nonsense doesn't fly here, ladies and gents. It doesn't fly in the real world, where actually it's a consumer market and the consumers spoke. More people wanted to watch it without anyone. You know why? Probably just because it got down to the brass taxes. And, he's not even a good personality. God. Don't know, there was a controversy surrounding a tweet comparing the government's language around asylum policy to 1930s Germany. And multiple other BBC sports pundits and commentators refused to partake in programming yesterday, thus proving you aren't needed. Go away. So much of today's programming is also expected to be disrupted. And Match of the Day 2 will air without presenters. And you know what? It will probably get more viewers. I bet you anything it will get more viewers. And this is the hilarious part. BBC Director General Tim Davie last night apologised for the disruption to viewers, but said he won't resign. He's desperately battling to resolve the crisis. There is no crisis. You want to take this, Tim, me old mucker, and you want to go, we can save millions of pounds here. To hell with all of these absolute douche canoes that serve no purpose. The people have spoken. The people that pay us have spoken. They don't want these people here. It's viewed higher without them. There you go. Simple. Take it as a win. But no, you've got to cry into your pantaloons. You know, the BBC announced the decision to pull Linekar back from the popular highlight show. No, more popular without him. On Friday afternoon after extensive discussions during which the sports presenter was told that his tweet comparing language around UK government asylum policy to Nazi Germany was unacceptable. In response, a series of pundits and commentators, starting with Match of the Day pundits Ian Wright and Alan Shearer, stood down in solidarity with Linekar, and other presenters said they won't be appearing. In the much-shared tweet, Linekar railed at what he described as a beyond awful British government policy to stop small boats carrying asylum seekers from arriving on British shores. There's really nothing Nazi-esque about wanting border control. That should not be a controversial statement. We need better border control because people are just turning up. There you go. That's not controversial. If that's controversial in your opinion, you're a small-minded moron. And you've spent too long licking windows and sniffing glue. Okay? There is nothing controversial about suggesting that a country should have better border control and people shouldn't be able to just turn up unannounced. That's not a stretch, guys. Okay? That's not far right. That's actually pretty centrist. It's pretty centrist opinion. And it's not politically aligned anywhere. That shouldn't be controversial. Anyway, he added in a later tweet, "We take far fewer refugees than other major European countries." Yeah, and we're tiny, you idiot. This is just an immeasurably cruel policy directed at the most vulnerable people in a language that is not dissimilar to that used by Germany in the 30s. It absolutely is not remotely similar to that, you utter fool. Linekar's suspension has prompted criticism of the BBC. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Across the who cares about the political spectrum? The people spoke democratically. More people wanted to watch it without him. There you go, done. On Friday, the opposition Labour Party said that the BBC's decision was cowardly and an assault on free speech. We don't have free speech in the UK, so you can fuck off, Labour, because you don't like free speech, because you're policing Twitter anyway. So you can piss off. Fucking hypocrites. Anyway, broadcaster Piers Morgan said in a tweet that Linekar's suspension was pathetically spineless. Well, you can fuck off as well, he's an idiot. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak jumped into the debate Saturday and said he hoped the dispute could be resolved in a timely manner. Why are people not going... What is wrong with people? Rishi Sunak, you absolute dickhead. Gary Lineker was a great footballer and is a talented presenter. Obviously not that talented, because more people wanted to watch it without him. I hope that the current situation between Lineker and the BBC can be resolved in a timely manner, but it is rightly a matter for them, not the government. Yeah, fucking get out of people's lives, government. Anyway, Lineker is literally the highest paid presenter on £1.35 million a year. Yep, ridiculous. Some analysts have suggested that... This is just ridiculous. So the scandal comes fresh off the back of a tricky few weeks for BBC chair Richard Sharp, during which time his role in facilitating a loan for former Prime Minister Boris Johnson has been placed under the microscope. Some analysts have suggested that Sharp's resignation would be a fair trade-off to see Lineker back into the fold. But people wanted to watch it without him. What are people missing about this? I don't understand. Surely the take-home should be that backfired, more people wanted to watch it. You're done. We don't need you. No? Clearly more people wanted to watch it. Nearly 25% more people wanted to watch it. These people are such idiots that that's not the take-home? Goodness me. Piss off, Gary Lineker.